Welcome to an all-new episode of GVN Review. We will be doing our non-spoiler The Batman review today. We have a packed panel. We cannot wait to tell you guys our non-spoiler. I want to keep saying that so people don't think this is a spoiler video. Our non-spoiler thoughts about The Batman. But before we do that, I want to introduce our panel, starting off with AJ. What's up, AJ? Stop acting like you can read.
What's good? The Batman was greatness. That's my review done.
Yeah, no, and that's about all we needed to hear from AJ. So that's great. Thank you. Grand opening, grand closing.
Short and to the point. I love
it. There you go.
Next up, Jamie. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm good. I was happy I got to see it last night, and happy to talk about it.
I'm glad you got seats, because when you said that, I was in my mind. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way.
There's one of the alumni from the school works at Warner Brothers, so they had like a screening for like the students that was a few days early. So I just kept clicking the link, and eventually I got in. So I got lucky.
Perfect. Send me that person's number. But anyway, next up is Trayvon. What's going on, Trayvon?
I'm happy to talk about this movie. I had a great time with it. We'll get to it.
Stop trying to hedge your bets, Trayvon. Relax. You enjoyed it. That's all. That's it. That's it. You enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You keep trying to prepare us for something else, and it's only making me nervous. Stop doing that. Next up, the Podfather himself. He's been absent for a while, but he's back. What's up, Dom?
What's good, man? Yeah, it's been a while. I think I've only done one show in this year, and I was with like another guy with this guy Aaron. Been trying to get all my shit together, make sure I'm not missing things and making sure I cover all my bases. So I think I'm back in my groove. So you should see me around a little bit more often.
Yeah.
What Dom's trying to say, but he's being very, very coy about it, is he's being flued out by studios and everything. He's a busy man. He ain't got time.
I'm so coy.
Let them know, Dom. Talk your shit, man. No, but we're glad to have you, man, and we definitely hope we have you for Moon Knight at the end of this month, man, because that show's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild. But last and definitely not least, my Batman brethren, Joel. What's up, Joel?
What's up, my Bat brethren? How you guys doing?
Very good, man. When this movie was over, me and Joel usually always sit next to each other when we go to the movies. This time we were separated by a couple. So I had to kind of lean over to see what Joel's reactions were. So it was frustrating. And then when it ended, I was like yelling over the couple. So we had
to just ask to switch.
Well, at that point.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well, they came in literally when the movie was starting.
Oh,
okay. Stay right here. It's all good.
The worst people.
Right. And honestly, I probably would have if I had thought that they would have gone right into the movie, because there was only the DC trailer and then they started the movie. It wasn't like how movies usually are with a bunch of trailers ahead of it. So
right. We weren't far from each other. No, I saw him overreacting from right the corner of my eye.
Yeah. The only thing he didn't see was when I was crying. My dad filled him in though afterwards. He was like,
I've seen enough of that in my life.
Yeah, he was crying. But look, that's just me being consistent. I cried with the first trailer. I cried with the second trailer. I cried every day Matt Reeves got on Twitter. So that's just been very consistent for me. So I cry when it comes to Batman. But anyway, let's get right into our non-spoiler. I want to start off with you, Jamie. What were your thoughts on the Batman?
I really enjoyed this movie. I feel like, I don't know, I think I kind of hyped it up in my head as like a end game level movie, which it might have been for you guys, but for me, I feel like it's one of those like really solid, like not so much origin story since we're already in the mix of things when we watch the movie, but a really solid start to what hopefully becomes a bigger movie franchise. And I just really enjoyed my time with it. I thought the 3 hour length for the movie was going to make things drag a bit. I think there were some moments where the movie did creep, but I really enjoyed getting to see Gotham both in the nighttime and during the day. More so in the nighttime, but getting to see in the day was also cool. Yeah, just being able to get into that environment was cool. Getting to know some of the characters more, like Selena, and even some of the villains, like I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but getting to know some of the villains as well was also really cool, and seeing how they're connected, how like all these webs are connected to Selena or to Batman or Bruce Wayne. Getting to see all that was really cool. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson does next with the Batman. And yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. I said this to AJ. This was Godfather, but for comic book movies. I do believe the only thing in my mind, again, I'm only speaking for me, that will ever top this is just other Batman movies.
About the sequel. Yeah.
Right. No, because like when you like anyone that ever tells you Godfather is the greatest movie of all time, the only other movie they will even remotely loosen up on is Godfather 2. Like they won't go like, oh, Rocky, yeah, Rocky might. No. They go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 1. It's never something else outside of Godfather. For me, that's what this will be for comic book movies. And I say that because there is a difference between, in my mind, comic book movies and superhero movies. So to me, this is right there with, well, not right there. This is above it, but Logan is probably the only other thing closest to how I felt about the accuracy about everything. Everything just felt like this is what I've been reading all these years, you know? And honestly, to what you were saying, Jamie, I think the most pleasing feeling I got from this is it felt like Telltale, right? Elements of Telltale, but really it felt like if you ever wanted to know what Arkham Knight felt like on a big screen, it was this. Like this felt exactly like Arkham Knight, right? How he utilized the Batmobile, how he utilized so many different gadgets and whatnot. It just like, I gotta stop talking. I'm gonna get into spoiler territory, but I truly love this movie, and I really do feel, and it is biased. Let me just also put that out there. It's very biased. Everything I'm saying about how I felt about this movie. But yeah, it was just one of those. I think I said "oh shit" like 500 times when the credits started rolling. Just like, there's no way I fucking just sat there and saw this. Like, yeah. There's just no way. And to your point, before I pass it to you, Trayvon, to your point, Jamie, me and Joel talked about this. As much as I agree with AJ that 3 hours does seem long, but if they said it was 4 hours, I would have been fine with it. I do agree with Joel that yes, did it need to be a full 3 hours? No. There were like a few parts that you were like, they weren't bad scenes, but it was like, I didn't maybe need that, right? But it didn't drag, but it for damn sure felt like I didn't need you to be 3 hours. I think that's any movie really that ever comes out. I don't need you to be that long. But I am with you, AJ, in the sense of if you told me it was 4 hours and 30 minutes, I would have said, okay, sign me up. But Trayvon, I pass it to you. What were your thoughts on the Batman?
I think it's it looks beautiful. Like the Gotham just looks amazing. It, of course, dirty and terrible, but it's like it looks great. Like the way it filmed it. I loved a lot of the camera work too. Like the way it had a camera was like on the Batmobile or the sweeping shots or whatever. It just looked really like the way it was done, where it was shot was really cool. And I think the thing I liked about it the most were the relationships, just the way that people work together in the movie. It just they didn't feel forced at all. They just it felt like it was supposed to be that way. I really like that this Batman is pretty much like a brawler. He fights like that. I love the fighting. That's one thing I like about Batman. I hate when Batman's stiff, and this one's definitely not that. I do about the movie being there's certain parts I will nitpick about. It didn't have to be this long, or something that was a convenient thing that happened that probably shouldn't have. But other than that, like I had a good time with the movie. Yeah, and I do feel like I'm not the diehard Batman fan. I feel like this is definitely made for you guys. So that's how I look at it. Like this is great, but not my favorite movie at all time or anything like that. But it was definitely a great movie.
Yeah, I would agree, and I don't like to use that term because it makes it seem exclusive. But the Batman was made the same way Logan was made, to where it's like if you have a deep love for this character, we're hitting all the deep moments. Like when Logan completely went berserk in the woods. If you don't know Wolverine, you're just like, oh, he just got really angry. No. That's Berserker Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So seeing stuff like that, seeing X-23 with Wolverine in live action, you know what I'm saying? You can watch it and enjoy it for what it is, but being a deep Wolverine fan, you appreciate that so much more. She's like, fuck, I never thought I would see this and it would be this good. No, go ahead, Trevor.
But I was saying, like, I've watched quite a few of the Batman animated films and stuff like that. They definitely like pull from some of the things I've seen, and I'm glad I've seen them because some of the things they say, I'm like, oh, I remember that, like stuff like that. I feel like they are pulling from those, and I think that's why I say it's made for those people that, like, if you've been reading it and watching it and everything, they definitely pull at you and give you all those things. I was like, this is cool. Yeah, so that's what I mean.
I just didn't want to make it seem like if you're not a diehard Batman fan, you won't appreciate or enjoy it.
No, still great movie.
That's what I'm saying. I just didn't want to make it seem like it was exclusive to diehard Batman fans, because it's not. It's a great movie for anyone. Dom, I pass it to you. You took the family. You got to see it last week, and then you took the family yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you even know, like, it's a movie enjoyable for all ranges, right?
Yeah, I with it. So originally, the fan screening was supposed to begin at 3, and I was like, cool. I know it's long. Little man won't be as tired. And then they changed it like the following day to 7 o'clock, and I was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? He stayed awake. He enjoyed it. He loved it. And for a kid who doesn't have that much knowledge about Batman, he's only 9 years old. He was completely like enthralled in the movie. He wants to dress up as the Riddler now, and I was like, why you want to be a terrorist? But whatever. To piggyback off what Trevor was saying is that I'm a casual fan of a lot of things. So I'll deep dive in when it's at that moment, right? So like something like this, I might go right then, like, I want to read up all these things. But when it comes to just a broad knowledge, I just stick to the stuff I can have conversations with people. But going into this is, and after watching it, like especially the second time, I mean, it's for a film like this in the world of comic books to be compared to not other comic book films, but to Saw, compared to Seven, compared to all these crime thrillers, leads you to see that the world of Batman is a lot more complex than, oh, this is just the superhero on the cape. It's like, no, like this went back to the roots of Batman, of him being a detective, and we got this crime noir film that, like Jamie was saying, it's gritty. And I didn't think about her saying like seeing Gotham in the daytime. It's just as corrupt in the daytime. It's just more kind of straightforward. I mean, that's when all the secret handshakes take place.
Right. And the corruption takes place.
Yeah, but no, I mean it looked great. I mean, there were some scenes that like I had to do one of like, anybody else see? Did y'all get excited just like I did? Did y'all see that? Mm-hmm. And so like the first time I saw it, I was completely blown away of just the fact of we got something completely different. And the second time, I got to really appreciate everything that I might have missed because I was so giddy about seeing the film. Second time, it like, to me, if I was a casual moviegoer, I want my films very long if I'm gonna pay $15 to $40, $50. So like, as a reviewer, yeah, sometimes you're like, golly, this movie's 3 hours or whatever. But if I'm just a casual person going, cool, 3 hours, I paid $20. I want to see as long as possible. It told complete story. It wraps up every single piece. And then, we get a little nugget at the end that I think it's debatable. I mean, some people might have a definitive thing of what they think it is, and I have what I think it is, but I'm curious to see later what y'all think the surprise is.
Yeah, we'll talk, Dom, because I said that to Joel. I thought it was this till the certain thing happened, and it was like, oh, it's clearly this. But I felt as though towards the middle of the movie, or towards the end of the movie, it set up perfectly what that could have been, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was also but no, I love everything you said, and I think the biggest thing for me is the idea of, everyone always says there's a fatigue of Batman, right? Like, all right, we've seen it already. Like, your parents die, you suit up, we get it. But what I always try to explain to people is what makes Batman and Spider-Man so special, and the reason why it's good to always have their stories, is that, as you can see, it's nothing like any Batman live action movie you have ever seen. MCU Spider-Man is unlike any Spider-Man you have ever seen. Because you have more freedom that maybe another director didn't. You know what I'm saying? You can go a lot more extreme, like maybe another director didn't. But what I love most about what Reeves did was it felt like a comic book. Your first shot of Gotham looks like it's right out of a comic book. It doesn't look like a realistic New York City, and it's not supposed to. And that was my issue with so many interpretations before. Don't go realistic. Go more comic booky. Make it look a little bit more fun, but still gritty and dirty, so we know exactly where we're at. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated that a lot. Joel, I pass it to you. Your thoughts, man. Yes.
Breathe.
It was a long journey. Like, but no, it was. I left the theater yesterday, and as you saw me as I was walking out, I was kind of speechless, and not because it was like, oh, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It was just so much hit me all at once. I didn't really know how to feel. Like, it wasn't bad or good. It wasn't. It was just. I was processing. I was confused. I was like, I had know it was good. I know I was happy, and I know I loved mostly everything I saw. But because it was so. I had so much in it, and it was 3 hours long. So like, I'm processing that, and I had to use the bathroom at the end. It was just very much like I was just like, I have to leave, but I also don't want to leave. It's one of those things. And we stayed till after the credits for the little, the little thing. It was nothing. But at the end of the day, the movie itself I felt, was the most Batman movie I've ever seen. And if you know Batman well enough, at least the Batman I grew up loving, right? That it hit it. It hit almost every mark I've always wanted to see in a movie. Like, were there certain things they didn't do that I wish they did? Yes. Well, what did it? Was it like perfect? I don't believe in perfect, so no. But it hit a lot of the parts that it needed to hit, and it made me want to see more. After I was done, I'm like, where can you go next? And they teased where they're gonna go next, but they can go even further than that, and they can twist and go a different direction and give that other stuff later. I mean, they can do a lot of different things. So, oh man, it was awesome. It was an awesome experience. I really, really enjoyed the movie. Without spoiling anything, it was literally a great experience. Just sitting there, and like it was like you don't get this type of movie with like a comic book movie feels like Seven. Like, it really felt like a
right
grind, like it was dark. And like some people, I know that turned off a couple people, especially certain critics. It's Batman. It should be dark. I'm sorry if you really think you're going there expecting a musical. You're going watching the movie. So I'm sorry. It's a dark character. It should be dark, and this to me knocked it out of the park. So I'm very happy now. Well, I'd love to sit with it a little longer and see where it ranks all time for me. But as of right now, it's hard to not say it's my favorite. But I'm gonna see it again tomorrow. I'll see how I feel tomorrow.
No, I respect that. Look, the only reason I could come to my conclusion as quickly as I did was I've never left any Batman movie, whether I watched it on VHS or I went to the theater to see it, feeling like this. That's the only reason why. You know, like I've left Batman movies like, oh, this was good. Like I had a really good time. But this feeling, you know what I'm saying? This feeling was just like, yeah, no, this is something super special. Like this is like unlike anything I've ever seen before. Like you said, it hit on so many things. And for me, even if we don't believe in perfect, I'll say this: if you're going 1 through 10, this might be the only movie, like I said, outside of Godfather 2, that I might go 9.9 if I can't give the 10 for perfect. I'm gonna go as close to it as I possibly can without actually hitting the 10. But no, he got in his bag, man. God damn, when Matt Reeves came on Fandom and said, look, I love Batman. This is the world I want to create for Batman. And we were like, okay, that sounds good. We've heard this before. Okay.
No
and
bullshit.
Then he dropped the trailer. Just like, could he possibly fucking mean what he just said? And then you leave the movie and you're like, I'll be goddamn. He delivered on almost every promise he made. Every promise he made, he delivered on. Like, geez, man. And yeah, like Joel said, it's Batman. To not have a dark Batman is like, I don't understand. This is why more of you critics should be comic book fans that are reviewing these things out there. So you just kind of have context on what you're saying. But AJ, did you want to add anything else? I mean, you started us off pretty great. Did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say, I disagree with everybody. This is the worst movie ever created. Hated it. Anyway, now back to the truth. This was the greatest movie ever created. You guys say you don't believe in perfect? Well, I do. And this movie is perfect. The Batman is perfect. The perfect Batman movie. The perfect movie in general. It is nothing but greatness.
Yep.
Now, do I wish this movie was longer? No. I'm just being dramatic when I said that. 3 hours was perfect time for it, for me at least. Honestly, it didn't even feel like 3 hours to me. It didn't feel like 3 hours to me at all.
I don't know if I can say that.
It
My
is
body
what it
was
is.
like, yo, we've been sitting here.
You know how you're like so enticed to a movie that you just can't help but just keep watching the screen and then time just goes by real quick.
I would actually,
that's how it was with this movie.
A better example would be like when you're taking a family trip and the car ride is long as fuck, but you're having a good time, but still you're just like, we've been on the road for a long fucking time, but it doesn't mean you're not having fun, but you feel the longevity of that car ride.
No, I didn't feel any of that. I didn't feel any of that. Nope.
But
it's long. It didn't help that I have I can't hold it anymore. I'm not what it used to be. It hurt. I was like, damn it.
That's what I'm saying. Like my body, because bro, I swear I noticed it. We did it in sync. My dad, myself, and Joel each looked at our phones around the same time, and I swear to God, our thoughts must have been the same. Like, what fucking time is it? like, all right, it started at 7. Okay, all right. So I know how much more time I got to go. But no,
yeah, I didn't look at my phone at all.
Well, I didn't look at it.
I didn't do any of that.
Like, I'm bored. I did look at it in the sense of like, if I look down and this motherfucker says it's only been 30 minutes, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I gotta pee here. So it was good that it was like, okay, it's like 2:40. Thank God. I can make it, you know what I'm saying? But no, I didn't look at my phone like, damn, hurry up and end. But I felt those 3 hours. I trained
myself my end game.
Yeah, I ain't feel none of those 3 hours. It just went by like that for me. With that said, I agree with Trayvon. The best parts were the interactions between all the characters. I really did love that between Batman and Selina. I loved their story arc. between Batman and Falcone. I love their story arc. There's a lot of tie-ins between each other, and Matt Reeves did all of them perfectly, which what I really enjoyed. The sound design with the Batmobile was just
God.
greatness. It
Oh
was
my God.
so good, so good. The cinematography, amazing. I actually tweeted this. I said the cinematography was probably one of the best things about this movie because of how it was shot. I like how the backgrounds were just so, it was like disconnected from everybody. You just see the blurs and all that, and represents Gotham so well because of that corruption and of just the mystery aspect of it. Like, doesn't matter how long you've been there, there's always some type of mystery around the corner. And the Riddler was the perfect villain to enhance that feeling for Gotham. So everything, literally, I can't find any fault with this movie. I only put 4 movies. I put 4 movies on top, not on top, but on the same level as this movie right now. And that's Into the Spider-Verse, Logan, and Man of Steel. So 3 movies. And then 4th one is the Batman. Right. So this was just greatness for me. It was greatness.
Yeah, no disagreements here, man. And the one thing I'll say to you guys who are watching this that have not yet seen it, if you thought the scene in Rogue One with Vader, just where you just hear Vader and you're like, oh shit, something's coming, and then Vader appears, you get a lot of that.
A lot.
You get a lot.
The first 10 minutes of the movie. Yeah, literally the first 10 minutes of the movie.
You get a lot of footsteps, and you're just like, oh my God, what's coming? And then you see it, and you're like, oh my God. Like, you just start like
also the inner monologue in the first like 30 minutes.
All right, hold on. No, hold on. Don't go there. We're gonna go there for the spoiler. But we wanted to make this non-spoiler video for anyone who's maybe just like, I don't know, like, I go see it, form your own opinion, however you feel about it. Just don't tag me in it. But go see it and form your own opinion.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. That's all I'll say. Feel it, but don't let me hear it. No, but seriously, go out, go watch this movie, because I guarantee you this. For whatever you dislike, you'll find a million more things that you do like. It's that kind of movie. So if it's the smallest thing you don't like, you'll forget about it by the end of the movie because so many other good things have happened. So again, whether you're a diehard Batman fan or not, this movie is not just for us. It's for everyone to enjoy if you just know what Batman's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And anyone that watched the cartoons knows that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to read the books. Watch the Kevin Conroy cartoons and you'd go, yeah, no, it feels like that. Like, it feels just like that. So I want to thank AJ, Dom, Jamie, Trayvon, Joel for joining me to do a non-spoiler review. It's going to be interesting to see in the comments if someone comes out like, you spoiled this. And it's like, we didn't try to, though.
We tried so hard.
Pure accident. It was pure accident. Trust me. We did a really good job, though, saying very little. Trust me. We'll say a lot for our spoiler review, but thank you guys for tuning in. And again, please go check it out. Come back, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how you guys felt about this and where you rank it. If you need time, take time, come back. Let us know where you place this movie in your hierarchy of not only comic book movies, but Batman movies. Till next time, guys. Peace.